Hello, and welcome to day 21 of 25, raising awareness of mental health. This started as a challenge, as physical challenge, as some people have done 25 of 25. So I decided to do 25 days talking about some of the points and issues around mental health. And today I want to talk about identity. And I don't mean your sort of driving license or ID card or anything like that. I want to talk about who you are, who you think you are, who you say you are, who you feel that you should be. We touched on some of this a little while back, talking about our story, maybe the things that we've talked about, who we are in the past, what we've done in the past, and how that maybe has been formed. We've talked about our values and beliefs coming from our past. We've talked about the voices, what we tell ourselves, etc. But what I want to do now today, particularly, I want to talk about who you are, who you say you are. So when somebody says, "Who are you?" Do you identify as a certain type of person? Do you identify as a race, as a sex, as an age, as a colour? Do you start to identify as the things that you do is who you are? Do you give yourself, I am a father, I am a partner, I am a worker, I am this, I am that? Because that starts to then give us our identity. And with our identity, the identity that we have given ourselves, the sort of label, the badge, if we're going to make a little badge, think about a little badge that we say, I am, what would be that badge, what would say on that badge? What would that badge look like? Okay? And it sounds quite simple, doesn't it? Give yourself an identity, who you are. But if we start to dig in and actually sit and think, well, I do this, I do that. Well, again, we aren't who we say the things that we do, if that makes sense. So just because we have a job in an office doesn't mean to say that you are an office worker. That's not who you are. That's what you do. You might say that, I'm a mother. Well, yes, you may well have children, etc., but that's not who you are. That's what you do. You mother. You look after your children. You give birth to them, and you nurture them, and then you let them go. But that's not who you are. Start to dig around about who you are. Okay, and again, if we identify with a certain group of people, we then start to take on those traits. So, particularly if I say language, particular languages. We are born with the ability to speak any language. We just lose the ability to speak the other languages once we've learned the language of the people we're with. So we sort of forget about those. We have lots of different abilities to adopt certain character traits, but we adopt the character traits of our sort of family, our clan, the people around us. We learn from them, all those things that we do. So we start to adapt who we are by who we sort of associate with and the people that we have around us. And particularly as we're growing up, that's formative, what we call formative, isn't it? Those things that we do form who we are. And we've already discussed, 80% of our learning, 80% of our programming, 80% of who we are, our values, beliefs, the labels that we have, the language that we speak, even characterisms, mannerisms, even sometimes how we look, because we adopt, clothing or persona or even, energy levels, etc., of the people around us. So the point I'm trying to get to is the fact that when we're trying to maybe look at our mental health, particularly in this sort of pandemic and all shut down and challenging things, looking at maybe having to reinvent ourselves. And I'll give you, for example, here, the point. I built a successful career working in the outdoors in Wales. And then pretty much that's just gone out the window. Okay, well, that's what I do. So now I've got to sort of reinvent what I do. Pretty much everything that I did was about making contact and training people in small groups of people, in contact with people. So if I redo that, it's going to have to be completely different. But that's not who I am. That's not who I am. That's what I do. So to go back to my original, who are we is not necessarily the things that we do, okay? But those that are the things that I do that define how I live out my purpose here at the moment. So my purpose, I spend a lot of time, years, in actually developing some thoughts around what my purpose is. Now, purpose is about what makes you live your life on this planet at this moment. And I know oxygen is quite useful and water and all that sort of stuff, but the focus of our sort of mental following about who we are, why we're here, etc. And I know some people have careers where they're teachers, they're doctors, they're managers. They sort of define who they are through what they do, which is helping people or teaching people, etc. But again, that's not who you are. Fundamentally, we are all human beings. Fundamentally, we're all on this planet together as humans. We start off with that fundamental principle. We're all doing that, okay? And then we break it down. What is a human being? Well, it's a collection of carbons, atoms, water, etc. A physical being, okay? A presence, okay? But who are you? You've got a physical body. You've got features. You've got arms, legs. Not everybody has, but some people do. You've got features. You've got eyes that you see with. You've got ears that you hear with. You've got a mouth that you speak. You've got a digestive system, but that's not who you are. That's not who you are. So who are you? Who are you inside there, inside that body? Who are you? Okay. So if we start to dig around and actually pay attention to this, we can freak ourselves out, for one thing. The second thing is we actually come to a realization that actually who we are isn't this physical body. We are inhabiting this physical body. Who we are is our conscious self, the person that we carry around. And I'm pointing to my head because most people think that our consciousness, our personal being, our spirit, for want of another word, is in the brain, where actually our spirit center is normally in the solar plexus. Okay, it's scientific fact. Okay, we've got brain cells that do all of the computing. Okay, and we've already agreed or worked out that our brain can be reprogrammed. It's fairly plastic. We can sort of change it. It's not fixed, etc. It's quite difficult sometimes with deep-seated programming, and we may not want to change that programming because it's too hard, etc. But it can be changed. So who we are is an entity, a person that inhabits this physical body on this planet. That's who we are. Okay? So if we all go from that premise, that's who we are. We're all pretty much a physical body inhabited by an essence, a spirit, a consciousness. Okay? And you can argue that actually, no, there's no consciousness there. We're just meat and two veg and that's it, and just move off. That's fine. Okay, you can have that whatever you like. But with this consciousness, with this other than a physical being, again, why are we here? What is it that we are doing, to create our existence at this time on this planet, doing the things that we do, Yeah? What is it we're here for? What is our purpose in this big machine, this big cog, this big experiment, if you like, of existence? And again, you know, lots of reading out there, lots of in-depth thought and thoughts about processes and who we are. Well, again, this is down to you, your journey. You decide. Okay, you decide. Once you go down the rabbit hole, remember what I said? There's no unlearning what you learn. There's no forgetting what you know. Okay? But the challenge, yeah, is to find out who you are and why you're here. What this existence means to you. Again, we're not just what we do. We're not just where we are at the moment. We're not just this physical being sat next to the TV, driving a car, you know, cooking a meal. This is not who we are. This is what we're doing. These are the things that we're doing, and we're probably doing them very well and enjoying them, but it's not who we are. We are an existence. We are this sentient being that's inside a physical body, living through this time. So, and again, you know, people may have whatever sort of beliefs and values. Yeah, happy with that, you know, religions, non-religions, whatever you feel. But they all do agree that there is an essence, a something, an energy that binds everybody together, whether it's belief, whether it's faith, whether it's spiritual essence, whatever it is, but it all binds everything together. Everything works, everything fits together. And again, I was mentioned way back talking about quantum physics. If you really want to sort of dig around in the science of this sort of spirituality, yeah, go and study things like the quantum physics, Schrodinger's cat. Start to open up all of that scientific stuff that people have tried to dig around in and look at the space between molecules. There's more space than there is molecules. You know, we are made up of atoms and molecules, etc. And in between those, yeah, is space. And there's more space than there is stuff. Okay, but that space is actually filled with stuff that connects the stuff. Yeah, so this is getting a bit deep, a bit weird. But this is fact. This is science fact, not, you know, out there weird stuff. This is fact that everything's sort of connected with this stuff. Okay? So why are we going down this rabbit hole? Because it's important that we understand, okay, going back to a few days ago, I talked about connection. I talked about people losing their connection, losing their place, losing their community, losing their feeling that they're part and parcel of. And as we talked about yesterday, some of the reasons why people take their lives is because they no longer feel connected. They no longer feel that they have anything there to be connected to. Therefore, they feel lost. Okay? And again, not everybody's going to go out there and sort of successfully find their life purpose tomorrow, etc. It takes time, and you know, lots of you will be very happy with your existences, etc. But if you're doubting your way in life, if you're doubting the path that you're on, if you're doubting, is this it? Is this all there is? Well, again, this is your challenge: is to go and find out, yeah, find out what this other world is, this quantum physics, the stuff that's in between the stuff that connects everything, because we are energy. Okay, energy vibrates, and everything is energy. Everything solid is still energy, even though it vibrates very slowly. All vibrates, it's all moving around, particles and waves. Okay, so challenge is go and find out. And if at the very least you sit down with a book and write some things on it, who am I? Who do I think I am? Who do I identify as? What group of people do I think that I am connected to? And is that who I am? Is that my label, my badge? Remember the badge? Yeah? I've got my badge. What am I? What am I saying that I am? Okay? And does that reflect what I'm doing? And does this give me purpose in life so that I feel happy that I am following my purpose and the things that I am doing is adding to the richness of my life and therefore adding to the richness of others? Okay, we have purpose. We have this connection. We're part and parcel of this whole big world out there that sort of connects us. So without going too far down this rabbit hole, yeah, there's this stuff out there. So I'll repeat it now. So go down and there's a video that starts it off, what the bleep do we know? There's some stuff there about Schrodinger's cat. There's stuff there about quantum physics, studying particles and waves and whether they actually exist, etc., and when they exist. And again, this is scientists doing experiments. This is science, proving or disproving what existence is. Okay, so good background reading. There's lots of books out there as well that will take you lots of different ways. People have lots of different societies have different types of beliefs. The Far East, Middle East, etc., all have different ideas about existence, religions, etc., beliefs, spirituality. All of that, gives us some thoughts about who we are. Okay, but who we are is that core thing in the center, the energy, okay, that is here, but not necessarily this physical body, not necessarily the things that we do, not necessarily what we're sat here now doing. Okay, that's not us. Okay, it's just somebody watching what's going on. We're the observer. Yeah, and if you sit and think about that, okay, you can feel all this stuff going on. You can sit there and you actually can sit and listen to the voice in your head, or where it comes from is in your head. That voice is not you. Yeah, you're the observer. You're listening to that voice. So you are almost like a separate entity within this body. Okay. So without sort of going off and thinking you've got split personalities, etc., I'm going to stop there. Just identifying who you are starts to become that key point of where you then define your life purpose, the things that you are here to achieve, and particularly where you feel that you may have lost your way for a little while. Again, the universe doesn't make mistakes, just you might be stepping on a bit of a treadmill at the moment, but it's preparing you. It's preparing you. Okay, so diamonds are formed under heat and pressure. Okay, so if you're under a lot of heat and pressure at the moment, there's work for you to do. You're just being formed into a diamond. Okay, there's sometimes you need to step back because things aren't ready for you, and sometimes when things fall apart, they're actually falling into place. So all of these things are challenges for us. But going back to our key subject today, who are you? Who do you believe that you are? Not necessarily what you do, or the badge that you wear, the uniform that you wear. Who are you? Deep down, core inside of you, who is that person that turns up every day? Right, so tomorrow we're going to, day 22, we're going to look at the effect that long-term conditions and disease and illness has on us, and particularly where, stringing a few of these things today, last few days, particularly talking about who that makes us, who that turns us into, maybe, after a long-term condition. So again, taking off today who we think we are, we're going to look at the effect that sort of chronic diseases and illness has on us, and what we can do about it. Okay, so again, something down the home straight now. So 3 more days to do to our 25. At the moment, looks like we're just going to do those 25 because although you're happy doing these, no real sort of movement to say let's carry on doing some more. Want to know about this? Want to know about that? So realistically, probably going to just make it the 25 and go for that. These videos will probably end up on YouTube at some point, and I might start doing a few here and there and just adding to that and then putting the links up on Facebook. But at the moment, it doesn't look like we're going to carry on doing a daily video on Facebook Live for the next 25 days after this. So, wet play in Wales today. Okay, be who you are. Okay, and love you lots. See you tomorrow.